Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another weekly Wednesday ramble. Sorry if I seem a little low on energy right now. I just finished eating a lot of Chipotle, and I'm in the sort of like post-food lull where you just kind of want to take a nap, but it's like 9:18. So naps don't really work at 9:18, so I'm just going to have to push through until I actually go to bed. So last week, on Thursday, my brother and my mom came up to Berkeley from Fresno for Benjamin's RCSA interview, which was a lot of fun. It was cool tracking him on the Find My Friends app on my phone. I'm sitting in lecture and I see, oh, he's actually like just outside the building right now. If I wanted to, I could technically get up, run out of lecture, and go see him. I didn't. I waited until afterwards and then met up with him. And then we came back to my dorm, we hung out. He went on a night tour with the rest of the ROHP group, which they're the Regents Overnight Host Program. They are in charge of this whole overnight stay thing for the Regents Scholarship. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We went to Cream after his night tour, and there was no line. It was great. He was kind of bummed out because we wanted to go to Rasputin and look at music there, but it was closed. He was kind of bummed out about that. But yeah, then he had his interview Friday morning, and I saw them briefly before class, and then they left. So it was a lot of fun. I'll see them again. Spring break, which is in a couple weeks. I don't know exactly when it is. It's going to be nice to be home, though. Other than that, not a whole lot has happened for me this week. It's been pretty nice. Again, it was a weekend of a lot of work. It was kind of killer. This weekend's going to be a bit nicer, though, only because we don't have much homework because more tests and midterms and nonsense are coming up. So it's a fair trade. It means I get a little bit more time to relax at the expense of having tests coming up. So, such is life. But anyway, last week on my vlog, I said that I would talk a little bit about Berserk, which is a manga that I just caught up in last week, and it is something else. It's to steal a phrase from a YouTuber that I watch, it is very rated R. It's just constant very explicit gore and violence, and it's kind of scary at some points in terms of that. But at the same time, it weaves this really cool character-driven story, and they do a good job of placing good comic relief amongst all the really graphic violence and just explicitness of the manga itself. Basically, if you pick up reading it, this is not a spoiler. You get introduced to this character within the first couple chapters. Basically, you follow around the swordsman named Guts, or I've seen it Gatts or Gutts. It's all sort of just weird Englishization of the Japanese, and he wields a freaking giant sword and he fights demons. And within the first couple chapters, you get introduced to a small it's sort of like a fairy, but it's this manga's interpretation of what an elf is, sort of a small winged flying creature. And Puck becomes one of the most hilarious characters ever, because he's always drawn in this really exaggerated little short fat manner where his head looks like a chestnut, but he doesn't actually look like that at all. So it's a weird exaggeration because it doesn't exaggerate really anything about him other than that he's kind of weird and silly. And you get all sorts of different characters, and it's very fun. The characters are really awesome. The fights are stupid intense just because of how graphic they are. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. The only thing I'm kind of disappointed in is Berserk is notorious for its silly release schedule, in that it has no schedule. The latest chapter that was released January of last year. So it's been over a year since the last chapter release, so there's not really a sense of when it's going to come back. Which, funny enough, I believe is not as bad. I think Hunter x Hunter has had the same problem where it hasn't had a chapter in 2 years for who knows why. which is why I'm glad I'm not actually reading the manga for that. I'm just watching the anime, because then I'm actually like on pace to actually have something to watch every week, as opposed to catching up in the manga in a week and then having nothing. So it's a very good trade-off right there. I'm glad, very happy with my decision. Yeah, I believe that is all I have to talk about this week. I will see you guys next week, unless me and the guys end up having a Google Hangout this weekend, which seems like it's probably a possibility, which will be nice because, as I mentioned, it's sort of a free weekend for me. So, yeah. For the rest of you, I will see you guys next week. Have a good one.